Well, you know, I've already worked with Proton John before, but sure, yeah, it's a pretty good idea. I'd love to have him back. Here we go. Oh, you mean JonTron? Well, I've worked with him too. He's a good friend of mine from high school, so yeah, sure. Here we go. Oh my god, what do you want, TalesFar86? Okay, look, there's just too many Johns in the YouTube space, okay? Fine. I'm in. I'm in if he's in. Oh god. Oh god, they're everywhere. There's too many tweets. There's too many tweets! Why are there so many tweets? Ah. Oh. I mean, he's got a point. Great. Hey man, it's Jirard. So, do you wanna...
Yes.
Great. How about,
Sonic 2.
in the capital of...
Capital of Indonesia is Jakarta.
Oh, you're good. You're damn good.
I know. Do you want to start this thing?
Yes! Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Completionist. This week's special guest is someone who I've not only admired for a long while, but someone who, by accident, had the exact same uploading schedule as me for quite a while. We did reviews that were sometimes released on the same time of day, or even the exact same game, and our fandoms have blended for years. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, finally, SomecallmeJohnny to the show.
Good greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be here. Jirard, thanks again for inviting me, and I'm hoping we can deliver on the goods today.
So it's to my understanding that you're a huge Sonic fan, but lately, between Sega not showing up at E3 and the recent announcement of Sonic Boom, Fire, and Ice for the 3DS, it took my recent playthrough of Sonic 3 and Knuckles with the Game Grumps to realize that we're running out of Sonic games to enjoy.
Well, there's only so many Sonic games you can enjoy. I've seen you tackle Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I've seen you tackle the adventure games, and I've seen you even tackle Sonic 06, which you and I both know is... Anyway, so why not Sonic 2?
Hey, that works great for me. Sonic 2 was my very first Sonic game, so hey, let's get right to it. It's hard to address the iconic blue hedgehog without talking about Sega, Mario, Nintendo, the console wars, and everything of the 8-bit/16-bit era. And in my case, I've tackled some of the more popular Sonic games out there already, so today, I just want to try and sidestep all of it as much as I can. Sega broke into the home console market with the Sega Master System in 1985. At the time, their unofficial mascot was the weird monkey devil Alex Kidd, and so understandably, they did need someone new to shake things up a bit and give their competitors a run for their money.
Enter a new console, the Sega Genesis, with its new Attitude Era icon Sonic the Hedgehog. At the time, this wisecracking blue blur changed the gaming space with its high-speed platforming and off-the-charts coolness factor. Sonic the Hedgehog was packed in with practically every Genesis ever sold, making it the most sold game in the lifespan of the Sega Genesis, so naturally a sequel was inevitable, and Sega just dove right in, firing on all cylinders.
A year after its inception, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was on the docket. The original team that worked on Sonic 1 came back to work on Sonic 2, minus the man that designed Sonic and Dr. Robotnik themselves. I'm gonna ruin this one, his name was Naoto Oshima. But that's okay, because really, it's Yuji Naka that was really considered to be the main contributor for the direction of Sonic, and went on from the first inception of Sonic all the way up to Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
Yuji Naka's swan song was Sonic 06? What a horrible way to go out.
Well, Naka has gone on record to say that he left Sega because he knew he was going to be making Sonic games for the rest of his life, so... that sounds horrible.
Professor Pickle's been kidnapped?
That's actually a pretty good point. Look at guys like Miyamoto and Kojima. Yes, they shaped great franchises, but to be working on the same games and characters for so long must be exhausting. If literally every game they made wasn't an instant masterpiece, it'd probably get pretty soul-crushing. But hey, before I get sidetracked anymore, let's take a look at Sonic 2.
The simplistic plot of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 returns with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic the Hedgehog must use his speed and jumping abilities to stop Dr. Robotnik from world domination. Period. /semicolon. To achieve this, Robotnik, with his precious army of enslaved animal robot pilots, wants to harness the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds and build his dream space station, the Death Egg, which, let's be real, is just one mustache away from being a lawsuit with Disney.
Now for starters, in the original Sonic, there's only 6 Chaos Emeralds, so apparently for some reason they added one more in this game. And speaking of adding one more, how can we forget Sonic's brand new borderline vegetative sidekick? Everyone knows him as Tails, the fox with 2 tails, but his full name's actually Miles Tails Prower. Like, you know, miles per hour. You get it? Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Look, I know we sound stupid in repeating this stuff to you guys since, let's be real, most of you know all this information already, but that's kind of Sonic 2's enduring purpose these days. Just reminding you all what was so great about these games back then and reforging that old emotional connection.
Well said, Jirard. Anyway, Tails was the perfect number 2 for Sonic, and the fact that this game allowed for real-time simultaneous co-op made it even better. Could Mario do that? I think not.
This game was the perfect little brother game, and I, for one, was one of many little brothers that got to play as Tails. And that's alright. I know it's kind of lame for a seasoned player, and that it's super confusing and that you die a lot, but for a young boy at the dawn of the video game's golden age, it gave the illusion that I helped. And looking back now, if you're a competent player too, you can definitely carry your team.
So, a quick summary. Stop Dr. Robotnik by defeating him, save animals, 7 Chaos Emeralds must get, Tails the Fox is your sidekick, you're a blue hedgehog, that blue stuff in Chemical Plant Zone is super cool looking. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, I'm sure a lot of you Sonic 2 veterans out there are anxious for us to go over the gameplay of Super Sonic, but it's gonna take Jirard a while to get all the—
I got Super Sonic!
You already got Super Sonic! We haven't even gotten past the first level!
Got him!
You are good.
Got him!
So I guess that means you guys are going to see a lot more Super Sonic than usual, considering that Jirard already got all the emeralds so early. We'll get to that in just a sec.
Totally got him.
Yes, you said that already.
I'm a Super Sonic. Super Sonic Racing. Gotta get my feet off the ground. This is Super Sonic. It's who I am. Super Sonic.
Yeah, you sure did, kiddo. The first thing you notice when you turn on the game is how much this game's first level, Emerald Hill Zone, looks a heck of a lot like a somewhat updated Green Hill Zone, the first level from Sonic 1. And actually, that's a perfect sort of poetic reflection of Sonic 2 in general. It's everything great about Sonic 1 again, with a better coat of paint, way sexier graphics, and an absolutely next level soundtrack.
Yeah, man, the soundtrack in this game totally kicks ass. Emerald Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Casino Night Zone, almost every single track in this game sets the bar for all of the great funky music we've gotten from all the Sonic games over the years. And along those same lines, Sonic 2 starts to underline a lot of series visuals themes too. Art Deco architecture, gambling in the evenings, crazy futuristic tube worlds. You get my drift. The legacy of the Sonic franchise started within the first 2 games, and have just sort of been repeated ever since. Don't believe me? Count how many Sonic games end up in space. You'll be surprised. I swear, it's like 30 or 40, maybe like 120. There are more Sonic games that end up in space than there are Sonic games in general. How is that possible? Can we get a math check?
Sonic 2 lays the groundwork for another legit series staple, branching pathways. No one path is the right way, and as the game gets harder, the paths get more broad, allowing for each player to have a unique, fast platforming experience that almost feels customized to you, like you're discovering the pathways yourself as you go.
Even as a big Nintendo kid at the time Sonic 2 came out, I was pretty darn impressed by it. And I also remember that the game got really damn hard, and nowhere is this scene better than in the bonus stages. The Genesis showed off a lot of its cool 3D capabilities, but they were also super hard to beat, especially since most of us hadn't seen anything like this before. Overall, it's incredibly impressive for the time and it holds up well. Plus, this Sonic game may be one of the most easily accessible games to download and play today, so you know, get on it, you young retro gamers, you.
For fans of the original Sonic, not much has changed here in terms of actual gameplay. We still find ourselves in control of our favorite blue hero running as fast as we can through levels with loops, corkscrews, moving platforms, and various other obstacles that were so familiar in the first game, along with all the same great power-ups we know and love.
This time though, rather than anything game-defining, all the new features come in the form of subtle improvements. Just take a look at the addition of the Super Spin Dash. On paper, it's pretty much exactly the same thing as the Spin Dash, except that you can now rev it up from any position instead of building up speed speed, and purely from this fun-revving action, Sonic ends up feeling more powerful and yes, even faster.
In fact, Sonic feels pretty fast in general in this game, and whether or not it's actually physically true, maybe this is where the popular Sonic is faster than Mario idea got started. If Sonic 1 felt good, Sonic 2 simply felt better.
It's a perfect example of a game sequel that doesn't try to reinvent the wheel and instead keeps doing what works and sprucing up what didn't. And along those lines, replayability still comes from trying to find all the checkpoint posts in each level so that we can be sent to the bonus stages and collect the Chaos Emeralds. And hilariously enough, the game gives you enough chances to find those, as you can literally get Super Sonic if you're talented enough by the end of Act 2 of Emerald Hill Zone. Yes, that's the second part of Stage 1. But the developers were confident that you were probably going to mess up a ton.
Which, as we have already discussed, earns you Super Sonic.
I got him!
We know! We know! So these bonus stages are awesome. Awesomely hard. The illusion of speed is infinitely present as you run forward collecting rings. There's 3 checkpoints in this never-ending hallway, and you move around and collect the rings. But beware, there's bombs all over the map, so one wrong move and boom! You run right into them. If you manage to collect all the rings, you'll be allowed to move on to the next checkpoint, and beating all 3 gets you a Chaos Emerald. The multiplayer here is kind of a blessing and a curse. A blessing because your partner can get rings, but a curse because you're twice as liable for getting hit. Once you collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you can collect 50 rings, jump, and then transform into the invincible Super Sonic, who looks awesome, even if he does bear a strange resemblance to a certain Super Warrior race. This addition to the gameplay really adds something special to Sonic 2 as it makes you want to collect everything so that you can completely destroy bosses and levels.
Yeah, dude, and destroying levels and bosses feels awesome. Super Sonic's so cool, dude. Oh, and also, there's actually a multiplayer mode. We already talked about how co-op single player is weird, but kind of cool for the little brothers and sisters of the world. But the split screen racing stuff is just flat out bad.
Yeah, I can just imagine the meeting. Hey, Sonic runs great in our system. No, it'd be even better. Making the graphics worse and doubling the amount of stuff on screen so it runs more slowly. Is there a cool idea here? Yes. Does it work? No.
Yeah, but on the flip side, no one's playing Sonic 2 for the multiplayer anyway, so I'm not really going to give it much weight when forming my opinion on an otherwise almost perfect Genesis game. Well, plus I got the Emerald super fast, so you know, Super Sonic Racing, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Super Sonic Racing.
Okay, haha! Next section.
After destroying a crazy huge flying airbase, it's time for Sonic to hitch a ride to Robotnik's crazy huge flying space base. And because Sonic's so 90s cool, he does it Marty McFly style, skitching on the back of Robotnik's own rocket. Man, what a great time to be a 90s kid. Are you a kid? Or an echidna?
I know, right? But once you get to the Death Egg, that's it. There's no level up here, just 2 bosses, no rings, and that's all she wrote.
Wait, no rings? But that means that...
Right. However much work you put in to get all the emeralds, Sonic 2 is pretty serious about wanting you to take on the last level the way they intended. Blue, kinda pudgy, and definitely not Super Saiyan. But you know, I actually kinda prefer it that way.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Besides, the bosses are super cool. First up, we got Mecha Sonic, not to be confused with Metal Sonic, who looks awesome and is awesome, even though they look exactly like each other. And once you figure out his pattern, he's pretty awesome to fight too. Not unbeatable, but just challenging enough that you never feel stupid, thanks in large part to his nasty jumping spike move thing. Still, he's down after 8 quick hits, and after a brief chase, it's time to take on the confusingly named Death Egg Robot. Not to be confused with the Death Egg Space Station, which, just in case you weren't paying attention, looks exactly like the Death Star, but with 2 eyes, a mustache, and not Disney or Lucas, whatever. Don't sue them or me. Leave me alone.
The Death Egg robot is basically just a giant robot version of Robotnik himself because apparently this guy has some kind of narcissism complex, except that this version has rocket arms and a jetpack. Play careful, learn the pattern, dodge liberally, and 12 hits later, victory is yours.
The space station explodes around you, Sonic escapes through a nearby airlock, and for a single inarguable moment, Tails actually proves himself useful by showing up and catching you in his airplane, the Tornado, thereby saving the day. All is well, the animals are safe, game over. Unless...
Oh boy, here we go.
Unless you collect all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds, which in this case, Tails is totally useless, because just as all seems lost, Sonic turns himself into Super Sonic, thereby saving himself from danger. Hashtag Tails is useless. Hashtag Super Sonic is bae.
Hashtag really? Which, other than going fast and beating levels easier, pretty much sums up the entire completion bonus in this game. And normally, I'd be okay with this, except that for Jirard, getting all the emeralds seemed to be pretty darn easy.
It was.
Yeah.
I did it.
Is it too late to back out of this collab?
Yep, we're almost done.
Alright, well in that case, we might as well tell you about the few extra levels and things Sonic 2 has to offer through lock-ons and hacking, just in case you're a Black Hat style completionist. Man, that was a bad movie.
Obviously, the biggest thing is that locking this cart on top of the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge pack makes Knuckles the Echidna, which is basically the same thing as a hedgehog, a playable character. Knuckles makes his debut in Sonic 3 and continues that in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or just Sonic and Knuckles. And you guys know him if you've been paying attention to Sonic for the past few years.
Who can sleep with that thing around? It's like living on the sun. We don't have it.
Knuckles plays basically exactly the same as he does in Sonic 3, and while it makes some of the levels go by much faster, because you can literally go places you never meant to go before, ultimately he's kind of a bummer, because using him doesn't change the ending at all. And his super form seems kind of half-assed. Like, come on! He just flashes? Give me that Super Saiyan Knuckles, yo, something, I don't know. Some sparkles? Bedazzling stuff? A rocket? I don't know. Now, it's worth noting that there is an option in the options menu to play as just Sonic or Tails by themselves. This is quite interesting because while you want to play as Sonic by yourself, why would you want to play as Tails? In Sonic 2, he doesn't really offer any kind of extra bonuses like he does in Sonic 3. And here's the weird thing, with Sonic and Knuckles, you can both become their super forms. But getting all the Chaos Emeralds with Tails does absolutely nothing. And the ending doesn't change if you get all the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Very bizarre considering what we just did.
In addition to this, Sonic 2 has a few legendary lost levels that disappeared at various stages of the development process, including Hidden Palace Zone, an infamous beta level left out of the final version. Normally this wouldn't really belong in a Completionist episode, but in 2013 Sega allowed the Taxman and Stealth, 2 members of the Sonic Retro Tech community, to rebuild the iOS version of the game, and when they did, and since they're such hardcore fans, they went the distance and re-added a finished and updated version of this lost zone, as well as Knuckles integration, a boss rush mode, a fully updated soundtrack, and even a secret version of the original beta Hidden Palace. Please check out this new definitive version, no matter if you're a new player or you've been playing Sonic 2 your whole life. It won't let you down. This isn't an ad, just a hot tip. The game is good.
As I think I've probably made clear by now, nothing about this game was really a struggle for me, except for the last boss. I mean, maybe if we really want to split hairs here, I could say that I liked doing the bonus stages more as Knuckles, because the Sonic and Tails version seems to be designed for 2 players to do at once, as the ring checkpoint qualifications are a bit different, but that's really it.
So in its place, here's a special message from Sonic himself.
But if someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
Actually, never mind. Well, I mean, he's right, but yeah, weird. So let's take one last look at the facts and see if we can't come up with something that sounds smart here. Yes, Sonic 2 is Sonic 1 with a brand new coat of paint and a few new bells and whistles. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it? Does it still have its problems? Sure, every game does. Does the art direction, soundtrack, and level design more than make up for it? Absolutely. Sonic 2 isn't just one of the best Genesis games out there, it's one of the best platformers, period. Hyphen.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Not every sequel has to redefine the franchise if it's already succeeding at what it set out to do. Is it weird for me to say that's refreshing to say nowadays? You know, I love Sonic 2, I really do. Yeah, there's a game out there called Freedom Planet. I covered it in my channel a few months ago. It's the Sonic game that's not a Sonic game, but I don't care. You want to know why? Because it's fun, and you should go check it out.
So, with that in mind, guys, we give this game our completionist rating of Complete It.
Complete it!
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to click that big old blue subscribe button, and if you're looking for more great Sonic reviews, check out SomecallmeJohnny's channel. It's so good. It's legitness. That's just legitness. And if you want some more completionist goodness, check out last week's video right here. A big thank you to SomecallmeJohnny. You guys check him out. He makes great stuff. Now back to us in the future. Kind of. That's all time we have for today, guys, so please, as always, let us know what you thought about today's episode somewhere on the internet. A big thank you to SomecallmeJohnny for being our excellent guest. Go check his stuff out. In fact, now if you excuse me, let's embarrass him a little bit. Let's sit here and watch what he had to say a few years ago about Sonic 2 himself.
Alright, we've taken care of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, so let's not waste any time and go straight to Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Not without me, you're not.
Oh, hey, Elliot.
Okay, so you're gonna let Crazy Hair be in this, and yet I can't be in this.
I resent that.
You want to join?
Sure, I thought it was gonna be harder than that. I had Ladle ready and everything.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.